best thing, better than you've ever seen. I'm the new best thing, I'm gonna be the king. I bring that ching, ching, ching. Yeah, I'm the new best thing, I'm the new best thing.
Hello, welcome to Hedera Forum. We're happy you could join us for our 12th episode. It's a very special episode. You might see a few faces that you recognize up in the corner here. We are going to be celebrating the 1-year anniversary of the open access for the mainnet. And we're very excited to be able to have these guys, which of course need no introduction, Dr. Leemon, Baird, and Mance, Harmon, the co-founders of Hedera. Welcome, gentlemen. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, guys. Thank you for having us. Glad to be here.
And we're joined as well by Brandon with the Monetary Reset, of course. And just to put things into perspective before we start our discussion here we are at the 1-year mark, and this is just sort of a graphical representation of what that looks like on an engineering scale and a graphic scale. That little yellow sliver is us here at 1 year, and we know we've heard Mance and Leemon, both of you guys have alluded to Hedera being built for the 100-year sort of the long haul, so to speak. And so much accomplished in this first year and so much yet to come, of course, but I hope this helps people just sort of visualize just how early we are here and everything that has been accomplished. And with that, we've prepared a few questions for you guys. We hope the community will enjoy our discussion with Mance and Leemon. Brandon, you want to take the first question for Leemon here?
Sure. So to start, we do have an announcement, and it's just for the community. It'll pale in comparison, I'm sure, to these interviews, but we do have something that we're going to announce that the community might be excited about. And with that, Mance, do you have any kind of disclaimer or anything you'd like to say to start off? Leemon?
Just that it's sort of the standard disclaimer we're required to always say, and that we're not endorsing any particular company or application or anything, but very glad to be here and see the exciting news that you have to share.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, well, back over to Leemon. You guys have accomplished so much in the first year. The execution you've had has been amazing. Is there anything you're most proud of in this first year that you've accomplished for Hedera?
Yeah, I am really excited about everything that's happened over this first year. It is amazing just in 1 year how much has happened. And I'm excited about really two things. You said one, I'll say two. But the council has blown me away. You know, we have Google and we have LG Electronics and we have all these other people who have joined the council and that are excited about it and that are working for the future and that are running this. I find that immensely exciting. And that all happened in the last year. And some of the other big names that you've heard, like IBM, were actually before OA. But open access, since then, we have had all sorts of big names that have joined us since then. So that's been exciting. And for the ledger itself, I have been really excited that we did the consensus service. So remember, a mere year ago, we didn't have the Hedera Consensus Service. HCS didn't exist. All we had was the three services. And we now have the Hedera Consensus Service that came out at the beginning of this calendar year. And the response to that has just been overwhelming. There were even people who were using the cryptocurrency service as an HCS. They would just stick information in the memos because they were so desperate to have an HCS. And now they're using HCS. Mm-hmm. And lots of people are involved in it. And we have libraries we're building to build on top of these app nets that use the HCS. And we have plugins into other things like Hyperledger Fabric and other things where you can use HCS to drive them. So it has been immensely good to see how people have reacted to that. Just overwhelming interest from the community on all of that. So that's been fun. And so, yeah, I think that's what I'm most excited about over the last year.
Good, good. So you've gone over the past year. What are you most excited about over the next 12 months?
We are building a 100-year company. And so if we've done that in the first year, I just can't wait to see what we do over the next year. We will be building more council members. I think we'll see other names that are very familiar being added. I'm excited about that. We will get more and more people building on top of us. And I'm most excited about that. We have enormous number of different companies that are doing POCs and small startups working on us. when, of course, when the big companies do it, you don't have as much, they don't tell you until they're done. They don't tell you about their POCs. But we have a lot of people building on top of us right now, and that's very exciting to me. And so over the next year, I think we're going to be, I just can't wait to see all these things become public, these POCs become public. We already have great transactions per second occurring on us, and I think we'll see even that growing. And so it will just continue on this path to truly having a utility for the world that's going to last for the next century and beyond.
And same questions for you. What achievement are you most proud of since open access?
Yeah. Well, what's really been gratifying, I think, is the range and diversity of use cases that we've seen come online in the past 12 months. So, I mean, if you look at it, there are 47 known dApps to us. And when I say that, what I mean is they've come to us and told us that they're actually using the network. The funny thing is, there's no KYC required. You don't really know who is using the network. You see TPS, maybe you see accounts that are being used to pay fees, that sort of thing, but you don't know who is using the network and for what purpose. What we do know is that there are at least 47, because they've told us who they are. And when you look at that range of people or companies, they cover 14 categories of use cases that span agriculture and logistics and healthcare and media and technology and environment, and they go on and on. I'll just list them all: regulatory, technology, energy, insurance, financial services and banking, and life sciences. So that's a huge range of use cases by a range of company types and sizes and that sort of thing. That does not include, by the way, the enterprise use cases that are being built on us. And so what's been most gratifying is just that it's being used. The platform is being used in the way that we'd hoped it would be used. The other thing is that if you look at where we are today, we're at about 15 transactions per second on average. I think we've been a little bit higher and a little bit lower over the past couple of months. I've seen 17 or 18 on it over a given period, TPS. When you also consider that we're just a year into this and we're already double the throughput of Ethereum, that's a big deal. So we're very proud of that. The future, if we take a look at the next 12 months, I think it's important to understand where we are in our life cycle, in our growth cycle. And I've said this in the past, but I want to say it again. In 2017, we formed the company. That year was all about writing down the vision, put it in a white paper, hiring the initial team, getting ready to go to market. 2018 was about raising money, and we actually launched the network in the sense that we opened it up. Well, we made it operational. It was closed, except for those that came to us, and we gave permission to use it. But we got the network up and running by the end of 2018. 2019 was about deploying the product, finishing the development that we had started in 2017 and 2018, having open access in 2019. And then 2020, this year, it was all about validation. And what we validated, we've been going through this process of really taking a hard look at the categories of use cases, not vertical industries like I just mentioned. Those are industries, but categories of use cases, and narrowing down into those that really have a lot of value for the network and our particular features, throughput, security, governance, all of that. And finding companies in vertical industries, like I've mentioned, that are using the platform in these ways. And we've done that. This year is all about the year of validation. Next year begins the year that I'm calling scale. So 2021 is about scaling up. Where we started with a dozen use cases, we've now narrowed it down to just a handful, a couple that are exceptionally good. And the way that we do that is by looking at the ways in which the platform has been used. And can we see commonalities across the different dApps and use cases that already exist? That's what I mean when I say validation of categories and product market fit. Now, what's most exciting about next year, in the year to come, I guess I should say, actually are things I can't tell you about. And that's unfortunate because they're exciting. The interesting thing is that, and Leemon alluded to this, when you're doing business with startups or small and medium businesses, we have customers that are small and medium businesses, they want to talk about it, right? They want to have press. They want to make a big deal out of it because they are, rightly so, trying to get recognition and get traction in the market and build momentum for their organizations. When you come to enterprise, it's exactly the opposite, right? Enterprises are not going to talk about their POCs until those enterprises are ready to make a big splash and go to market. And it's after all of that hard work has been done and they've proven the product market fit and they know they've gotten it right and they're getting ready to release it to the market. And some of the most exciting work that we're doing falls in that category. And so we can't talk about it. But I will be glad when we can. That's not to say that every enterprise POC that we're working on is going to go to market. You know, it's not the way it works in real life for small and medium businesses. It doesn't work that way for enterprises either. So some of the POCs that we're engaged in maybe will never go to market, but some will. And when we are, at the stage where we can talk about those things publicly, I hope you are as excited about them as I am. But that's what the coming year looks like. It's real use cases, real customers, and beginning this next phase of the company, which is scale on just a couple of really narrow categories of use cases that we're going to focus on in the coming year. That was long-winded, but I hope that gives you a sense for where we've been and where we're going in the next 12 months.
Long-winded is good. The community wants to hear from you guys, and so thank you for taking the time again. I don't think anyone would complain if you guys just talked for an hour here and Brandon and I shut up. So thank you guys. One more question here. This one for Leemon. In past interviews, you've offered some advice to developers interested in building on Hedera. One example being that the ecosystem would need some great wallets, and the community had responded. Is there any other area you're excited to see further development from the Hedera community?
Yeah, and we do have wallets. I think on our website right now we have 6 wallets listed with 3 more to come. So it'll be 9 soon. Some of those are hardware, some of those are software. So yeah, write more wallets. That'd be great. We have a lot of exchanges too. I think 44 exchanges now. Hedera.com/guide.
44 on-ramps. Not exchanges, but on-ramps.
On-ramps. Okay, so it also includes custody services and other things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's really cool. So Hedera.com/guide has all that stuff. But what you asked about is what's the next thing to do? And what I would say is find anything that you are excited about and start building sort of a vertical thing to do that. So if you're really into games, build libraries and things to help make games. Or if you're really into financial things, look at the pain points. What is it that makes it hard to do financial things? And build systems to do it. And find systems that you think other people would be really interested in using to do that in that vertical. Or if you are tracking COVID or whatever, that's, oh, brother, this last year, no one thought that was going to happen in the last year. But if you have ideas for how to help people do contact tracing or do testing or whatever, we have applications right now running on us for that. If you see ideas, the ways of doing it, go do it. Go build some things that people can use and get people excited to use those things. So I would say the answer is all of life. In all of life, find what it is that you really wish someone had written and go build that. And that would be cool. And what we're seeing is people doing exactly that. And I just love seeing all the stuff that's coming out, all the cool ideas that people have.
Thank you, Leemon. Brandon, you got to take the next one here?
Sure. I'll take one for Mance. Mance, in the early part of this year, you alluded to possibly having all of the council member filled out to 39 members by the end of 2021. Do you think that's still feasible at this point?
It's feasible. but let me say we're not rushing it. So practically speaking, here's what I think is going to happen. We're going to add a lot more this year. Probably get to about 20 by the end of the year. That's the internal target is to get to 20. At the same time, we are doing two things. We're wanting to maintain the bar really high on council membership. So we're not trying to we're not going to lower the bar in order just to say that we have a full council of 39. That's one point. The second point is, once we get to 20 and then beyond, the incremental value that's added to the network with each new additional council member is not such a big deal. It's not the same as bringing on an enterprise use case. And given that we have, limited resources, even within our organization, we are doing a balancing act of working on BD with partners and customers, and at the same time doing council recruitment. And we will be able to scale those things. And in a lot of cases, the BD work, for use cases turns into a council opportunity for whomever it is the customer is that we're talking to, a potential target that we're talking to. And so, so it is important, obviously, and we are going to keep going until we get to 39. But if we get into 2021 and it looks like the demand is there for usage, more so than council membership, then we're not going to sacrifice that for getting an additional 19 council members. So it's just a balancing act, right? It's a balancing act given the resources. Also, as we continue to grow the company and we continue to see traction in lots of different areas, and with each new additional council member, it becomes increasingly easy to get new council members. And so I still expect that ramp will accelerate. And but if it doesn't, I'm okay with that as well. Right now, what we have are 15, and they're great names. They're respectable names. And the lack of council members, let me say it this way, the lack of not having fleshed out the full 39 is zero impediment to doing deals with partners today, right? So it's not as though we see opportunities to drive usage of the network, but oh no, we don't have 39 members and therefore we can't close the deal. That's not happening at all. Given all of that, we're just trying to be judicious in resource allocation and make sure that we're doing both. We're driving decentralization and network utilization and usage simultaneously. And it's those two dimensions or metrics, top-level metrics that we're using for measuring success of the project as a whole.
That makes perfect sense. I've always thought that, with the 3-year turnover schedule, it makes sense to take at least the full first 3 years to fill out the council members. And if they stay for the entire 6, or if that becomes the norm, you might as well take 6 years so it rolls off on a more regular basis. Absolutely.
We're just trying to, bootstrap the organization in both of those dimensions simultaneously and make smart decisions along the way.
Makes sense. Jesse, got another one?
All right. Yeah, Mance, one more for you. Can you share any highlights from your recent engagement at the first ever U.S. blockchain debate? And can you elaborate on how Hedera was chosen to participate?
Sure. Well, first off, it was fun. It was an unusual format. The idea of having a debate and actually having the viewers of the debate in real time do a survey and rate you how well you did on the debate. I had the good fortune of winning the debate in that sense. But I don't think any of us really understood what we were getting ourselves into when we went into the debate. And at the same time, I think we all pretty much enjoyed it and had a good time through it. I loved having the opportunity of talking about the importance of governance, that it's not just tech that matters. Tech does matter, but the governance model for managing that tech, if you're going to have billions or trillions of dollars of value being exchanged or passed through the rails that you create on your platform, then governance makes all the difference in the world. You got to be able to trust the organization that is managing that platform, and I was able to make that point. So that from that perspective, it was a lot of fun. How did we get chosen? So we are involved with the Digital Chamber of Commerce as well as other organizations that are, sort of advocacy groups like the Digital Chamber of Commerce, where there's something here in Texas called the Texas Blockchain Council. This is a shout out to Lee Bratcher, who is heading that up. We're involved in that kind of effort. We're also involved in standards bodies like the IWA and the W3C. And by virtue of our involvement with the Digital Chamber in this case, and Perry Ann and the whole group there, they saw an opportunity to make it possible to highlight, or I shouldn't say highlight, but invite Hedera to participate in this forum with the congressman. It's interesting because if you look at the projects in the market, there are not that many of them that have our profile, right? Leemon and I, as you all know, or many of you know, had our first careers in the military as officers in the Air Force, and we're headquartered here in Texas, no less, and not New York City or Boston or San Francisco, and we've taken a very different approach to the market than a lot of the other projects have, and that is very attractive to making a certain case that we can create and have projects in the market that are trying to build the industry, in a very legitimate way. And so it benefits us to be able to participate in forums like that, and those that want to have companies like ours participate, to try and advance the cause at the national level or state level. We were happy and welcome the opportunities to do that, and want to do our part to sort of mainstream the industry, and that's what that's all about. It was fun.
Yeah, congrats on winning that. I suppose I'm not sure how that would rate on your accomplishments, but hey, it never hurts to know that your message came across well.
Yeah, no, it was fun. It's nice. It's gratifying to get the feedback. Yeah.
All right, Brandon, you want to go with the last one for Leemon here?
Yeah, but real quick, Mance, I will say one thing. It was clear during that debate, even though they called it a debate, that pretty much everybody on the panel was on the same side and everybody was pulling in the same direction.
Oh, I should have said that explicitly. We all were there, of course, trying to promote the adoption or, legislation that would provide clarity for the industry. So none of us were going to go after each other, right? Not in any real sense. So we were all there. It was a very friendly debate. And yeah, it was all in good fun.
Well, I hope we certainly see over the next year, we see some of that regulatory clarity come to fruition.
Me too. I think we will. I think that things are getting better and everything is moving in the right direction from a regulatory standpoint. Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, Leemon, in the last MVP Spotlight series, there was some interesting discussion about tokenization. How is the tokenization projects and tokenization in general coming along on Hedera?
Yeah, so I talked about the Hedera Consensus Service, the HCS. And so the Consensus Service started earlier this year, and lots of people are building on it. There's a number of different things people are very interested in doing, proof of action and auditable logs and data integrity and things. One of the things, though, that a lot of people are interested in is tokenization. And so we've seen interest in this, and we have made some demos of this, and we are involved in standards bodies to say what are standards for how you would do tokens on something like an AppNet for HCS. And so I do think this is something of great interest to people. I think that you want to have a ledger, it has its own token, but then you want to build tokens on top of it. And the HCS ends up being a very fast way to do it, a very cheap way of doing it. And you can have all sorts of interesting security guarantees, privacy guarantees, all sorts of fun things when you do it that way. And so we're seeing a lot of interest in that. That seems to be a hot topic right now.
Absolutely. Well, actually, we should probably define what tokenization is on a DLT. In general, there may be some people that aren't familiar. Would you like to handle that one, Leemon?
Sure. or you can do it. It doesn't matter. But so the idea is that you have tokens, which are ones and zeros in the system that somehow remembers who owns something of value. So you can have HBARs, or tokens, which are the things of value because you use them to do things on the network. But you could also have tokens that represent a US dollar or a basket of different stocks. Or you could have tokens that are more specific, like for real estate, where there the token is referring to a particular type of real estate or a share in a particular company. You can tokenize shares, tokenize equity, have security tokens. There are lots of different things you can tokenize. And so tokenization just means taking something from the real world of value and putting it into the computer. But why would you want to do that? Because once it's in the computer, then you can have electronic commerce going on where we send these tokens back and forth. You can have smart contracts or HCS logic on our app nets doing things with these tokens. You can even keep track of just who owns which token. You know, when you do a title search on a house, it's horrible. It's expensive and takes a long time. Wouldn't it be great if the house were tokenized and then anyone in the world could just instantly see who owns that house? It's part of the token. Or maybe it's anonymous, but if someone comes up to you and claims to own the house, they could prove it to you by transferring the token to you. So tokenization is the first step in taking the entire universe and putting it on ledgers. And this is the future. I think that you can't say ledgers will do everything in the world, but I think you can say everything in the world will, at least for part of what it does, use ledgers in the future. It will become part of all the different parts of the economy and of society. And tokenization is a very critical part of that. Let's take the real world, capture it, wrap it in a token, and bring it into our world. And then we can do things.
Well, I hope we get the right regulatory environment to be able to do some of those things. And I am really excited about tokenization of small businesses and restaurants and all that kind of stuff. It could be really fun.
Yeah.
All right. So I know you guys are very busy. I don't think we have any more structured questions, but if you guys have anything else you'd like to say before you leave, we'd certainly appreciate it.
I would just say how much I appreciate all the people that have been involved with us along this path and that are excited right now and doing things. We just really appreciate you guys. And so we're just really excited to see what you end up doing. And we look forward to being with you along the way.
Yeah. So I would just echo that. I would also say that we are on plan. I'm very happy to be able to say that even in the face of COVID, while some things have slowed down for sure, where we had hoped we would be in sort of the life cycle of the company, that's where we are today. And looking forward to the future and grateful that so many of you out there are along with us for the ride. And we'll have a great coming Q4 of this year, and then look forward to banner 2021.
Well, thank you guys so much. I want to congratulate you guys as well for, we're just enjoying sort of watching this all evolve to some extent, but you guys have made it. You're here at 2 years since the mainnet was launched. And congratulations from us to you guys as well for all your achievements in that short period of time. And thank you for taking time to come on. And I know you have the town hall coming up, and those have been great. So thank you for offering your time for this, another way of connecting with the community. And we hope we'll be able to talk with you guys again soon.
Oh, sounds great. Thank you again for having us. Thank you both.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Take care.
All right.
Well, hello, and thank you for joining Hedera Forum. We hope you enjoyed part 1 of our discussion and our recap of the first year that was All Things Hedera with Mance and Leemon. Very thankful to have Mance and Leemon dedicate some time for us at the forum and to the broader community. We have another exciting announcement that Brandon is going to share with us. Brandon, would you like to tell us about the new HBAR chatbot?
Sure, yeah, it'd be my pleasure. So we alluded to this last week, but now people are going to be able to start to actually use the HBAR chatbot. I'm really excited about it. Essentially what it is on our Telegram channel, HBAR chat, we've been running for a while where you can give people reputation points by just replying to one of their messages with a plus sign, and that increases their reputation. And there's been some gamification around that, and that's been fun. But now you're actually going to be able to earn HBAR. Every time you get one of those pluses and increase your reputation, you're actually going to earn HBAR. And it's not going to be insignificant. This is going to be full HBAR and even multiple HBAR if you put the time in. So it's really exciting. Just to give everybody a heads up, the things that have garnered the most reputation points are, things like blog posts put out by the person that's posting it, tutorials, videos, tweets, things like that. The program already is fully funded. We have plenty of HBAR to go forward for a while, but we do welcome any sponsors that want to come along and increase the bid to increase the payments, and the winning bid will be recognized each time a reputation point is rewarded. And the sponsor will be able to post a link. So it can be used as an advertisement or an announcement to let everybody know what you're doing on Hedera. Also, something that's exciting is we're going to have version 3 coming out in October. There's going to be some additional features that come out. So version 1 was where you could just have reputation points. Version 2 is where you start actually getting some micro payments for it. Version 3 is going to have some additional features, and that's going to be fun. Now, one of the features is going to be there's going to be a minimum of a 10% micro payment made to charities for every reputation point that goes out. But individual community members can actually increase that and gain angel status, essentially. And you can increase the amount you actually pay to these charities. So that's fun as well. There is a light KYC involved. We are dealing with actual HBAR here. So there's a light KYC involved. You can do that all through Telegram. It's going to be very simple. Right after we post this video to that channel, you're going to be able to see a link below to the HBAR chatbot, and you can just go on there, answer a few simple questions, and you will be verified. We believe, this is a novel use case. It's going to highlight all the strengths of Hedera, its speed, its micropayments, its low fees, things like that. And it rewards individuals who've put forth a significant amount of time and effort into gaining those reputation points and helping build the community. We also hope that it helps sponsors be able to highlight some of the things that they're building on Hedera, like I alluded to before. So we're just excited about it.
Yeah, it sounds great. I've talked with you about it and had it you sort of explained to me a few times on how it works, and it seems like it will be a really neat thing that the community can engage in. And great job on developing that in coordination with the HBAR Price Telegram chat. And yeah, I look forward to engaging more with it in the future and seeing how it rolls out here. So I hope everybody gives that a look and watches out for the announcement. I know a lot of you are familiar already with the reputation points and how they work in the HBAR price chat, but very cool to know that there would be some actual HBAR changing hands there. So very much looking forward to it on my end. And thank you guys for putting it out there.
Yeah, no problem. This is still a test phase, but we are going to be paying real HBAR. But because it is a test phase, we are going to limit the amount of people that can sign up for it initially. So it's going to be done on a first come, first served basis. So when you see the HBAR chatbot first get posted to the Telegram link, make sure you sign up right away.
Very cool. Well, thanks again, everyone. I hope you'll enjoy the conversation we were able to have with Mance and Leemon, and I hope you'll look out for the HBAR chatbot in the Telegram chat. And yeah, that's all we have for this week. Thank you guys so much again for tuning in to Hedera Forum. We look forward to seeing you again on the next episode.
Happy Hedera anniversary, everybody.
See ya.